I've been wearing the Apple Watch Ultra 2 every day for about 8 months, and an Apple Watch in general since they came out about 9 years ago. With this comes experience, and today's video giving you 20 tips and tricks on the Apple Watch. Let's dive in. Daylight measurements. Now that the warm weather is here in Wisconsin, I've been noticing my time in daylight has been increasing significantly. If enabled, your Apple Watch will use its ambient light sensor, GPS, and motion sensors to detect whether you are outside, though keep in mind clouds or even a long sleeve shirt can affect results. To view your daylight stats, you can open the Health app on your iPhone, tap Browse, and tap Mental Wellbeing to view the time spent in the daylight. List view for apps. While the grid view for apps has a nice aesthetic to it, it is not the best view when you have a few dozen apps to comb through. To make it easier to find what you're looking for, you can go into Settings and tap App View, and from there you can choose the List View. Another way to change this view, and probably easier, is just to scroll all the way down the grid or list view, and from there you can switch back to the other view at any time. App Cleanup and Notifications. While I'm on the topic of a cleaner app screen, it's no use tidying up the view if you have 100 apps to scroll through. For this reason, I recommend deleting as many apps on your watch as possible, and here's why that isn't as bad of an idea as it sounds. If you're like me, you hardly operate an app on your Apple Watch, and 95% of the time its purpose is to see things like the time, weather, and notifications. The tip here is that you do not need a specific app installed on your watch to see related notifications. Instead, you can choose to mirror notifications from your iPhone to the watch. For example, if I need to check on upcoming FedEx deliveries, there is zero chance I will open the app on my watch to view this data when my phone with a much better experience is in my pocket. But if I have an important delivery coming today, it would still be ideal to see a relevant update right on my watch. For these reasons, I have deleted the FedEx app from my watch, but I do mirror FedEx notifications from my iPhone, which gets the job done perfectly. This experience mirrors most apps you probably use today. So again, delete the app, but keep the notifications. Raise to speak. If you ever summon the digital assistant whose name starts with an S, you have probably done it one of two ways. You either said, "Hey, you know who?" or you've pushed in the watch's digital crown. Instead, using the Apple Watch's accelerometers, you can move the watch to your face and give your command, and the watch, Siri, will take it from there. No need to even say her name.
I found some web results. I can show them.
Ping iPhone. Many of you may know this trick, and it gets better. If you have misplaced your iPhone, you can open up the Control Center on the Apple Watch and tap the Ping iPhone icon. From there, your phone will create an audible sound to help you locate it. On the Apple Watch Series 9 or the Apple Watch Ultra 2, you can even use precision finding, which will give you a direction and distance to assist you with finding your phone. For another cool trick, you can hold the Ping iPhone icon and your iPhone's flashlight will go off as well. Calculating tips. If you want to customize the heck out of your tip needs or mental math is just not your thing, the Calculator app on the Apple Watch makes calculating tips a breeze. To do this, fire up the Calculator app and type the total of your bill. Then click the tip button to get your tip amount. You'll see that the tip percentage is selected, and you can move your crown up and down to change your tip percentage while receiving nice haptic feedback. You can also use your finger to select the people section, and once again use the digital crown to change the amount of people in your party, which will calculate exactly what every person owes before your friends fire up the Venmo app. Remote shutter. Be the hero with family photos around the holidays with the remote shutter function on your Apple Watch. For this, I'll prop my phone up in some ridiculous way, as in these moments I don't have a proper tripod with me, and then I'll open up the Camera Remote app on my watch. Here, you'll get a live preview of your iPhone camera so you can frame the shot just right. Additionally, you can go into the settings for extra customization. I highly recommend the 3-second timer so you, the photographer, can get back into smiling position and the phone itself will flash the light letting you know it is counting down. Also ensure the rear camera is selected for the best quality. Emergency functions. As a scout, I learned the scout motto, be prepared, and this is relevant to the Apple Watch. I recommend everyone practice accessing the emergency function of your Apple Watch so that is muscle memory should the need ever arise. On my Apple Watch Ultra 2, I press and hold the side button, which gives me a number of options. Running through them, I have the siren, which plays an ear-piercing noise, the medical ID, which can show your name, age, any conditions others should be aware of, and your emergency contacts. As an aside, make sure you have this filled out the way you would like through the Health app. You have the compass backtrack, so I can mark my current location, and after hiking out into unfamiliar territory, I can find my way back using the Ultra's built-in GPS, and then lastly, your SOS function to call for help. Turning off functions. The Apple Watch has a whole host of things it does by default, which are great if you utilize them, but my gut is most people ignore these capabilities and be less bothered if they just turn them off. Your mileage may vary, but please keep on the functions that make sense for you and make your life better. For me, this includes a number of things I just turn off. First is turning off the screenshot functionality. I found that somehow in my life, my side buttons would continue to be mashed in some way to fire off a screenshot on my watch, and I'd later notice a ton of these screenshots in my Photos app. I love the function on my iPad or iPhone, but I never need this on my watch, and so I turn it off in the settings. Next is the mindfulness app. I'm in love with the idea that randomly throughout my day, I would just take these small moments to reflect and do a breathe session as my watch reminds me to pause for a moment. But unless I am setting up an intentional and scheduled session to meditate, this practice is not happening, and over the years I noticed I would ignore 10 out of 10 reminders to breathe from this app, so I turned them off. Next is reminders to begin a workout. At first, this was a welcome feature because I would start a hike and forget to hit record and track my data. And with the reminder, you could tap a button and it would capture your past progress of that activity and everything moving forward. These days, however, my thoughts have changed. First, I walk my German Shepherd every day or ride bikes with my young kids around the court, and these are insignificant activities in the sense of data tracking to me. The alerts were just annoying. Second, I'm simply not interested in the data anymore unless I'm truly doing something like a backpacking trip and I want to figure out something like my elevation or mileage. I'm not training for a marathon and I'm not trying to hack my sleep. So all this data tracking and analysis was sort of a waste of time and unnecessary anxiety. Along these lines are reminders to stand. Yes, we should all stand more, especially as desk workers, but again, the reminders always come at times that I'm going to continue to ignore them and stay in the zone. Instead, I continue to be more mindful overall at getting up more often and using a standing desk when possible versus having my watch buzz me for every little thing throughout the day. Unlocking a Mac and password entry. Because you already have authenticated into your watch, it can be used for really useful things such as unlocking your Mac. I simply walk up to my Mac and mash a key or move the mouse, and within a couple seconds, my watch gives me haptic feedback telling me it is unlocking the computer, and then the screen comes alive. Related, you can use your Apple Watch for approving various requests from your Mac or other places, or fly through password screens by double pressing the side button once prompted. This makes authentication seamless, and I look forward to more apps and services integrating with this feature. Theater mode. Watching movies at the theater is much more enjoyable when you don't see a sea of phone and watch screens illuminating the darkness, and for this reason, when I go to a movie, I enable theater mode from the control center by pressing the side button. This function also silences your watch, and a little trick if you need to appear at the notification or at the time, you can rotate the digital crown up and the watch will slowly brighten the screen. This function I also find useful for hunting or other activities where I simply want less distraction. Night vision mode. Some features, at least for now, are easiest to accomplish on the Ultra models of Apple Watch, and related to the theater mode is the red night vision mode. Red light is best when it's dark in order to preserve your night vision, and so I personally use a watch face that automatically turns red when it is dark, which is really helpful when I'm camping or doing things such as astrophotography. Nightstand mode. Keeping with the light theme, we have Nightstand mode. Simply go to General, Nightstand mode, then turn on Nightstand mode. With this mode active, you can place your watch on its magnetic stand overnight, and if you tap the screen or even barely nudge the device, the screen will temporarily turn on with the charge status, date, time, and info on alarm if you have one set. Lost mode. If for whatever reason you are to misplace your Apple Watch, there's a lost mode you can activate from something like your iPhone in the Find My app. When activated, a passcode will continue to be required to unlock the device, and all payment cards and other services on the watch will be suspended until the correct passcode has been entered. You will also be able to leave a name and number on the device so it can be displayed in the scenario someone else finds it, and you can also receive a notification when the location of the device is available. Complications. You are probably familiar that you can put hundreds of different complications on the watch face of your watch for workouts, the weather, messaging, and other options. My hack is if there's an app I use with frequency and they have a corresponding complication, I will add it to the watch face as a very quick way to open the app. If you can't fit another complication on your screen, don't forget you can still ask Siri to open an app for you with a way that is still very quick. Alright, we have 5 more tips and tricks in the top 20 list. These are a bit self-explanatory in nature, so I'll breeze through them now. If you're liking the video and appreciate me getting you out of here so you can get on to the next video, hit like on the video and let's move on. Action button. If you have an Ultra watch, you will have the action button on the left side, which you can press to start a workout, set a waypoint, run a shortcut, and more. My favorite is to have it activate the flashlight, which is super useful, and you can even rotate the digital crown to crank up the brightness even more. Side hack, you can hold the action button longer to activate your siren feature. Download music and podcasts. Simple. You can download music and podcasts so you can go on a run without your phone or even an internet connection and jam out to your AirPods, all from the power you carry right on your wrist. Offline maps. Speaking of no cellular connection, you can download maps to your phone for offline use within the Maps app and utilize them on your watch. Just open Maps, tap your photo, and tap Offline Maps to get started if you're heading into areas where signals are weak. Log medications. Open the Medications app and be sure you stay on schedule and remember important meds you take. That's your business, so nothing more we need to say on that topic. Environmental sound measurement. Last but not least, while we talk health, you can have your watch measure the noise around you and give you a warning if the sound is too loud for a specific amount of time in a way that could lead to hearing damage. I've had this go off many times either at concerts or while operating power tools, and while I do always wear hearing protection, I do really appreciate this feature to ensure I keep my hearing for as long as possible. And that's a wrap! While there are many more features I could go on about with gestures, focus modes, and so forth, I hope this video was insightful and you learned a thing or two. Subscribe to see more in the future, and until the next one.